you for joining us on this video. My name is Danielle Moore, and I'm one of the Parent and Family Support Specialists with the Urban League. And here with today is Veronica, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Veronica Castillo, and I am also a parent support specialist here at Urban League. Thank you for joining us.
This video topic will be about supporting your scholar with post-high school plans, and just general overview of how you can really support them as they're moving on through high school. So just starting the conversation, some general tips and tricks to help guide you when talking to your scholar about their plans after high school. So a big question is when to start. Really, you can be starting to have these conversations whenever your scholar brings it towards you. So that could be in middle school, just getting general idea of what they want to do after high school. But you really want to start having more serious conversation with your scholars, probably starting at least junior year of high school, leading into senior year, as those last couple of years are pretty important when deciding how to move on with post-high school plans. A really important thing when having these conversations is to just be supportive of your scholar, making sure that you're with them along the way, supporting them in whatever decisions that they're wanting to make, just being supportive in that manner, making sure that they feel like they're making good decisions and you can help guide them into different routes depending on what they want to do. Some things that you can ask them are about their interests, so just kind of what they like to do and enjoy diving a little bit deeper into. That could be, some computer tech things, that could be working in a garden, it could be kind of the fashion industry, it could be a wide variety of different things. Just asking them what they're interested in and then exploring together what career options are out there for that kind of fit within their interests, so that you know that they're going to go into something that they truly want to be doing and are interested in doing. And then kind of discuss the steps that they need to take to reach the goals of whatever career or job type that they want to go into. So for example, if they really like the fashion industry and want to go into that world, they could find some fashion schools, maybe working a retail job when they're in high school could help them explore that interest some more. Or maybe they really like working with their hands and want to go into the construction industry. So taking some more like physical jobs, maybe doing some gardening, landscaping during the summers, and then exploring different technical schools that they could go to help them go further in the construction industry. So that kind of leads into talking to them about the different types of school. Go for it, Veronica.
Thank you, Danielle. So when you're talking to your student about different types of schools, there's two different options for schools, right, for post-high school. Your two options are you would have what people call a two-year community college or two-year tech college. For example, the two-year community college here in Madison would be Madison College. The two-year tech college here at Madison College, the community schools tend to have class sizes that are smaller. So your lecture classes can range from 20 to 50 students. The cost on average for a community college or a tech college can go from $3,500 or $3,500 to $6,000 per year, which is a lower cost compared to a 4-year. Also, when you're applying for a 2-year or a tech college, you also have the option for test scores. So these tests that you'll have to take to enter a post-secondary education. The ACT and the SAT are not required to enter a 2-year community college, especially here at Madison College. You just need a high school diploma or a completed GED. For extracurricular activities, 2-year institutions have smaller number of options to get involved. So if you want to get involved in certain things, clubs, committees, community organizations. You'll have to do more of that on your own because that's not as offered as much at a 2-year community college. Also, for a degree at a 2-year institution, they award an associate's degree. That is your 2-year either tech certificate, let's say you go into the trade of construction or go into the trade of cars or go into the trade of beauty, etc. You get an associate's degree. If you'd like, at a 2-year college, you can also get an associate's degree in liberal arts transfer, and then those are just your gen ed, your math, reading, writing, your general education courses that would transfer to then a 4-year university, which leads into the other option for post high school is a 4-year college or university. The 4-year college or university compared to a 2-year, the class size is a lot larger. So lecture classes range from 50 to 100 plus students. Once you've entered your discipline, after you're done with all your general education classes at a 4-year, once you go into your discipline classes, they may be a lot smaller. For example, if you're going to education, your class size might be 25 students compared to your lecture class of history, which might be 100 plus. The cost also for a 4-year university on average can cost for, if you are at a resident of the state, your student can attend a university from $12,000 to about $35,000 per year. Now that ranges if you decide to go to a private college, the cost is a lot higher per year. If you decide to go to a public university, the cost if you're a resident is a lot lower. As for test scores to enter a 4-year, you will need an SAT or an SAT will be required for acceptance, and that's depending on the school. So when you're applying for a 4-year university or 4-year college, you'll have to see what their requirements are for acceptance if they're going to need an SAT or an SAT and what that score will be. And what the options are if you need to retake it, etc. And you can also reach out to a counselor at either at a 4-year or 2-year if you have questions regarding that. As for extracurricular activities for a 4-year institution or a university or college, they do have a large number of options to get involved because the population of students is a lot larger. So you have more opportunities to get involved in sorority fraternities, more clubs, more committees, community involvement. So there's a lot more support in that way at a 4-year institution. As for a degree at a 4-year institution, you're awarded a bachelor's degree. So that's a 2-year for your gen eds and 2 years for your focus on your discipline. Until once you graduate, you have a bachelor's degree. And if you decide to move on, you can move into a master's degree post-university. So those are 2 options academically that you could take, or you could talk to your scholar about for post-high school. Yeah.
Another option, if your scholar isn't quite ready to take the jump into the academic realm of either a 2-year or 4-year school, but they know that what they want to get into requires that, they always have an option to take a gap year. So a gap year can be a wide variety of different things that just gives your scholar a little bit more life experience before they head into the academic realm again. So they could go off on a volunteer trip. They could do that in the US, they could do it internationally. There's a lot of different gap year programs that have your scholar go and volunteer places. They could just pick up a job and save money to then be able to potentially afford the schooling so that they leave with a little less debt in the end. Just kind of testing different fields that they might want to go into as well. Like maybe they're interested in maybe like going into dentistry. They could get a reception job at a dental office to kind of see what that's a little bit more like before they commit to going into that field. So the gap year just provides a little bit more exploration if they're not quite sure what they want to do right away post high school. That kind of leads into finding a job and building a resume. So a lot of places you can search to find jobs online. Indeed.com is a good one. LinkedIn is another website to get hooked up with different job postings. Or your scholar can just walk into their favorite store or restaurant and always ask a manager if they're hiring. That's a good way to get your face in the building or place that you want to work at. And then also having a resume alongside that. In high school, your resume will look a little bit different than if you've had some job experience in your lifetime. So you definitely really want to be focusing on any leadership opportunities that your scholar had in high school, whether that's a team captain or they were the president of a club. They took up extra volunteer work and led this group for that type of thing. Maybe they tutored younger kids, really focusing on those leadership skills. If your scholar did have any job experience during high school, you want to make sure that that's on there as well. Any extracurriculars that they participated in, even if they weren't the team captain or had a leadership role in that club, it's still important to show that they were participating in a wide variety of things. You also want to make sure that you have their high school education listed on there. And if their GPA is kind of on the higher end, put that on there as well. Just making sure to highlight the best parts of your scholar on that resume. You can also focus in on their skills. So maybe your scholar is really good with some like basic level graphic designing. You can have that on there. They have some people skills. They're very outgoing and friendly. Adding that on the resume can boost your scholar's likelihood that they could get that job then. And then finally, some discussing financial aid and how one can afford school.
Mm-hmm. So part of that, like Danielle had mentioned, some ways to afford post-high school academics. A community college has a little bit more flexibility when it comes to having a part-time job or a full-time job outside of the outside of school. So some students try to have a job and sustain a part-time job while they go to a 2-year, also a 4-year. So building that resume and finding a job might help provide some income to buy food, supplies, and pay for tuition. There's also scholarships available that you can talk to your guidance counselor about. And scholarships you do not have to pay back. You have to apply, but they also usually there's essays involved, but there's money given to you, so you could apply it towards your tuition post high school. Another way is filing for financial aid. Financial aid is a federal grant, federal opportunity where you apply for money and they provide a financial aid as a loan. And this loan will help cover tuition. Most of the times you get to decide how much, if you want the whole amount they're offering or partial amount. And at the end of your schooling, you are required to pay that back, and interest is on top of that. Also, part of financial aid, though, as your first 4 years, you also are eligible for a Pell Grant, and that grant you do not have to pay back, and that is also an option, but you would have to file through financial aid to do that. The financial aid website has all of this, all information available. They can walk you through step by step what you're going to need. And also guidance counselors are very well versed in financial aid support, scholarships, and grants. So those are ways that you can support your scholar in having that discussion on how to pay for post-high school academics.
Thank you. Yeah, and just overall, when you're having this conversation, just being open that there are a lot of different options out there for your scholar to do. It doesn't always have to be that 4-year traditional route that a lot of times is pushed. Your scholar can be as successful in life, if not more, without going and getting a 4-year degree. There's lots of opportunities out there for them, and it's more important that you really have that open conversation with them and find something that they're going to be happy in life rather than pushing them into something that they don't really want to do. And so just making sure to explore all of the different options that are out there. So here's some places that you can get more information about things. If you your scholar knows that they want to go to a four-year institute, they'll have to take one of these entrance exams. The website to apply for financial aid is there, and then also if you're looking for additional scholarships, information there. If you're job searching, those are two websites that are good. And then helping your scholar build a little resume, those two websites can help walk you through and have some good templates to use. And if you would like to discuss with either myself or Veronica more about this topic or have other questions about how you can support your scholar, we have drop-in office hours during these two options each day, and you can join through a Zoom and chat with us. We'd love to have you and answer any questions that you might have. If none of those times work for you though, you can contact us through email and we can set up an appointment or just communicate through email. You can also feel free to call that phone number right there and chat, or set up a time to chat through Zoom. We are also on Facebook. Follow us there. We share some resources and videos like this there. And then we also have a lot of different resources and all of these videos hosted on our website in our resource library. And so if you're looking for more information, you can always check that out as well. Okay. Thank you for watching, and we hope that you watch some of our other workshop videos.